We in the office.
Just say it how you feel.
Facts.
Say it how you feel.
Oh! We in the office.
Oh.
Hey, welcome back to Say It How You Feel.
Mm.
And today, we have a special guest with us. If you have not already seen, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on? I'm Lewis. As most people know me as Goldee or Goldee Travels. Goldee Journey on Instagram. So
That's right. That's right.
Goldee with 2 E's. The
with two
OG is
E's.
back in full effect. What's going
Facts.
on, OG?
Chilling. Glad to have y'all, be here with y'all. What I mean? I missed y'all so much.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We missed you too, bro. And that's what we're here for. We're super excited to have you back on, man. Definitely. I was like, yo, listen, we got to have Goldee. We've been saying it for a minute now.
For
Like,
a
we're going to
while
have
now.
Goldee back on.
Yeah,
man.
but life, still in the military.
Listen.
And all these journeys.
Exactly. No, real shit. Yeah. Real shit, player. Yeah, man. Well, listen, great to have you. And what better topic to have you on than one about culture, Black culture.
And loving the shirt, by the way. You see it on the shirt.
That's him right there, man. That's all you need to know about Goldee. But listen, we're going to get into it. So if you haven't really figured it out, we're going to be talking about culture, Black culture, and how, sometimes, not sometimes, how most times Black culture is extremely influential to the world. Talking about that, we're going to be talking about what it is to be a Black man today or a Black woman in today's society. We're talking about that. And we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of other freaky shit too.
Yeah, and really the big thing that I felt like I wanted to get across on this episode, we should get across, is that the evolution of culture that we've been through is recently as the past century or so. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado.
That's right.
I'm Mo.
I'm Say. And
that's Goldee.
And he's Goldee.
And this is Say How You Feel. So sparking this off. What would you guys feel is one of the major cultural shifts that have happened that really stand out in your mind?
You
Go ahead, Goldee.
Yeah,
go ahead, Goldee. You got
G,
it, man.
You got it, man. You're
so
guest.
all right. So what I've learned, what I've seen a lot. So with the change in culture, especially with us, a lot more Black people traveling, getting out. As we see like the passport bros starting to go out. So I see we're starting to get a lot more culture, starting to be more as a culture expand and open our mind. And traveling out. So I think that's a good thing. And on the flip side of it is a lot more of us getting a lot more bougie.
That's true.
In the streets.
I can see that. I can see that.
So for me, I think something that really kind of sparked a huge shift would be music, right? Hip hop in the 90s definitely changed a lot, changed the industry. It changed music as we know it. The pioneers of like gangster rap, MWA, then we go right from that to Tupac, Biggie, which really put a huge stamp on brothers that have emotion and put their heart and soul into their music. Let's not forget, we talked about the Wu-Tang Clan. We talked about all these different groups, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like these are OG groups of people who contributed to the game, right? And then now, the game has changed over the years, but that sparked a lot of different things in society, and it sparked a change with people, especially Black people, and how they move and operate.
Absolutely. And I was thinking also on that music, where it's like, you when it comes to the South in particular, how much culture came out of the South alone. You talk about the blues, you talk about rock and roll, you talk about jazz, all of these things really got their spark, from Black folks in the South. So it's like we went from, having that, everybody having a Southern drawl and everybody trying to pick apart the South and whiten it up, re-recording Southern music. So once you get into hip hop, you see that same kind of thing start to happen, where it was like up north had it on lock for a long time. But then when the South arrived, it changed the game. Outkast came around, you got guys like Uncle Luke, and Uncle Luke been heavy on my mind, especially because if y'all been paying attention to the media, this whole Freaknik documentary that's been dropped, I ain't watched it yet, but I know a little bit about it. And,
there's a documentary coming out?
Bro, it's a whole documentary on Hulu about this shit.
Okay, so no one judge me, right? No one, No one judge me. But when you say freak, now I have an idea of what a freaknik is, right? But I really don't know, no, because I was way too young. What are we talking about here? I'm just thinking there's a whole bunch of gyrating, barbecuing, and twerking going on. That's what I
And
think.
being too young is no excuse, brother. You know what I'm saying? Being too young is
Okay.
no excuse. However, you know,
Okay.
I love Southern music. I love Southern culture, you know, and huge on it. And before I even hop into it, Goldie, you got us. We see the grays and the beard clear. I know you got a little bit more knowledge than we do. So you know about Freaknik?
Yeah, I know about Freaknik. Coming up, a lot of I wasn't old enough to go down there. I was just at that cutoff where like they shut it down.
Mm.
But yeah, I do know a lot of people who have gone and a lot of stories and a lot of VHS recordings and stuff like
Mm.
that. So
Don't stop, pop that pussy, dude.
Exactly, exactly. So
Yo.
what from what I know about Freaknik is it started out as a like a picnic, you know what I'm saying, for the
Yeah.
HBCUs down there where they would just get together and you know, fraternize and have a good
Mhm.
time. And then you had the surgence
Mm.
of Uncle Luke and these party records and this nasty shit. And it turned into exactly that name of Freaknik. You got these folks coming out. It's so many people's mamas that's been caught on camera
Oh
that
my
now that this
God.
documentary is coming out, everybody asking their moms, like, so you got anything you want to tell me before I watch this? You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of you niggas mamas that was down there that was real nasty.
Ooh.
That was
Yikes.
wild.
uh
Yikes.
so did y'all see the thing on Facebook and like Instagram? This kid was asking people to stop sharing his mom's picture. He Yeah,
No.
it was a couple of years ago. This dude was asking people to
Yeah, I
stop
see
sharing a
that
picture
shit.
of his mom's bent over like a cop car or something like that.
And
Yeah, it
they had
was
her cheeks. It was like five niggas. All of them had a hand on it, just spreading her
Oh
cheeks. Cause that's what
God.
Freaknik was, though, man. Freaknik was just a wild. It was almost like
Oh my
low
God.
key a orgy type deal. Like it was live. But it was all about the culture. It was fun. You know, they was out
Mhm.
here wilding out. They was having a good time. Of course, barbecuing. If it's black folks there, they gonna have some bomb ass food, but dope
Hmm.
ass music and just vibes. And what ended up fucking up Freaknik, what ended up messing up everything was men. Of
I can't.
course.
Okay. All right. All right. We can
Of
say that.
course, because these women is out here and these women's is out here, you know what I'm saying, with all the goodies out being comfortable,
Mm.
and men just don't know how to keep their hands to themselves,
Yeah. Can't control
so
themselves.
sexual assault went up, sexual, harassment was through the roof, of course, but
Predation too. Yeah.
it was too much, and that's when that fucked up everything. And they tried to bring it back like in like 2019 or some shit, but it's just like
Yeah,
it don't
it
it don't hit
failed.
the same. It don't
Mm.
hit the same.
And
And
they start
so
making some music for it. They would.
that was what I was about to get into when it came to
Mm.
culture, is the music.
Mm.
The shit that Uncle Luke was saying back then, they was burning his records, they was running them over, they was stomping on these shits, and they just had a whole hit on the radio of wet ass pussy. Like that was like something that they got a kids bop version of that shit. You know what I'm
They
saying?
do.
So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the difference in culture now of like how sexually explicit things are compared to the way things used to be.
I think it would last. I think now in today's society, no bullshit. I think a freaknik would legitimately it would uphold, bro. Because now everyone is think about it for a second.
I
Everybody's
hear
all
you.
like
I hear you.
sensitive. They're all
But
like, we
I
should
feel like a
be
Freaknik
careful.
now would you bite off a lot more than you'd be chewing down there, goddamn
It ain't all women. I tell you,
it.
I tell you that. You know,
I
you
don't
talk
know,
about pop that pussy, it ain't gonna be. I don't know how much pussy you seeing, but hey, you know what I'm saying? I
See
am a
some
woman. You know what
bussy.
I'm saying?
but also you got to think about maybe would it succeed because how they treating
Mm.
spring break down in Florida.
Hmm.
How they treating it? I'm damn.
So
I've been
like
so fucking removed. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
the mayor of I forgot where it is, where spring break is it Fort Lauderdale, I think.
I think so.
He had a curfew for the people because they were just destroying stuff. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like the outlet alcohol was like usage was crazy, so they was like they put a curfew on everybody, and like essays went up,
Mm.
violence, a whole bunch of people was getting killed, like just so it was. So that's I guess that's the the balance
Pros and
with
cons,
Freak,
yeah.
with Freaknik still, because spring break is a mix,
Yeah.
and Freaknik was nothing but
Because it
Black
was in
us.
Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's in the the black what's the word I'm looking for? Not megaplex. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Mm,
Mm. Say
mm.
it with me now.
Epicenter.
Oh,
Black
okay.
epicenter. The black.
All right. That's
You know what
true.
I'm saying? Like that's
Yeah.
where right now, if you want some places all black, if you want to go somewhere that low key feels segregated, go to Atlanta. You're
Yeah.
gonna see nothing but black excellence down there. You know what I'm
It's
saying? You'll
true.
see a whole
Oh,
lot
it's
of
true.
black fucked up shit too, but it's a lot of black excellence down there. So,
It's true.
when you were talking about the spring break thing, I did just recently see some young dude got shot out there, 3 o'clock in the morning, just out chilling, and
Hmm.
had a problem with somebody, but he walked up on him and smoked him right there.
That's
So
crazy.
it's just crazy, like how a few can
Can
mess
fuck
it
up.
up
Yep. Yep.
for the many. You know?
exactly.
I mean, well, shit happens. Shit does happen. Um, I'm a firm believer that with enough guidance and enough like rules and regulations, I feel like anything can succeed. You know what I'm saying? But this
Mm.
shit sounds crazy to me, right? Because I think like this shit would be lit. You know what I'm saying? It would. I wouldn't go. I'll tell you that right now. My ass has no business being there.
Nope,
But
my married ass is at the house. We
no
cool.
business being there. Yeah, my ass would be home, but I'd be like, damn, these niggas out here having fun. Good for them. You know what I'm saying? I will live vicariously through you niggas, right? That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So it is what it is. But hey, it's funny because we're talking about like today, right? This,
Mhm.
this episode is based on like society changes and what it is to be a black man in society. And honestly, I feel like not much has changed, but the way things are done kind of changed. And I think G, you being around for as long as you have, not making you sound like you're old and shit,
Bro,
but
you make this nigga sound like he like 70, cuz.
I
How was
wanna-
the Great Depression, G? How was the Great Depression?
it was hard. A lot of
Nah,
potatoes.
no, word. Shit. Fucking around with this dollar. We might be right back there. But we're not gonna talk about that, bro. We staying on track
I
today.
about to say
But
talk about it, but never mind. We ain't gonna talk about it.
no, we ain't gonna talk about that shit. But no, in all seriousness though, like you've seen shit change sometime over, and I'm sure in my days, in 10 more years, I've seen some more shit change. You know what I'm saying? Because I think about it now. But like, would you say, right? Shit is easier or is it harder today being a black man? What do you think?
Mm,
That's a good
that's a
question.
subjective question too.
Yeah,
It
because
is.
for
It is.
me, it's easier because I have a lot more opportunities than a lot of my ancestors. I have a lot more opportunities than my mom, my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like a lot of people they turn a blind eye to things that happen, and they just like, oh no, it's a new day and age. So it depends on the person because some people are like, man, it's hard for me to get ahead, and then other people are like, what are you talking about? I have it so much easier.
That's right.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm glad you answered that, best of your ability and truthfully. I know you keeping it 100 with me. I'm gonna tell you guys something, right? I had a conversation with I'll say my boss for the most part, and person of color, and we're talking, and they were like, my partner, how about that, my partner, and they were talking, and they made a comment about this black dude, right? It was this black guy who's established in his community, and we're having this conversation with them, possibly taking on more business, and the individual was trying to. This is what they were trying to do. They were trying to guilt white people, right? They were trying to guilt white people from Switzerland
Big
about
brain.
slavery
Big
so they can
brain.
send us reparations,
Like the
right?
way he thinks.
No, I don't like the way he thinks. I mean, in retrospect, it's never gonna work, right? It's like,
No,
bro,
fuck no.
nobody give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? We talked about feelings last week. Don't nobody give a fuck. And the truth be told, it's like I kind of was just like, yo, a lot of people think like white people owe you something. They don't. I'm here to tell you, they don't owe you shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're never gonna owe you shit. And the more that we sit here and we try to guilt these people for something that a lot of them didn't even do is insane. That's like me being blamed. If the shoe was on the other foot, you know how quickly I'd be like, nigga, that wasn't me. I may still be reaping the benefits from it, and in that aspect, I can help and assist, and then try to establish programs and then try to establish some type of equality. But
that's what a lot of folks are asking for. Is just that they use their, their what they benefited from. The fact that you are in that position right now, you have the power to make the change. You have the voice to make the change. And that's something that you're not willing to do, or some are, we call them allies and whatnot. But it's just the vast majority of them are like, fuck you. Like, I didn't do that. So it's like that's the
right.
That's the same attitude they have. And honestly, from what you just said there, you understand that, like, that using your platform or using your your ability. I saw this one time. This black dude was at, I don't know if it was a city council meeting. He was someplace, and he was voicing his opinion. Like, he got up and he started talking his shit. And as security walked in, it was like 4 or 5 white folks that got up and surrounded this man, because they knew the police wasn't going to touch them. But if they would have got their hands on his ass.
Yep.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen that.
Yep.
So when I saw that, I was like, I don't feel like white folks should put their bodies on the line for us. But at the same time, metaphorically speaking,
they're using, they know.
You could, you just choose not to. Some
choose not to.
Yeah,
but they don't. But again, my argument is that they're not obligated to, right? And when we as people or a community start to say, you guys are obligated to, you must, or you have to, or if you, it's not really, you're never going to get people on board by trying to force them or guilt trip them or persuade them. The simplest thing is like, and I keep seeing this argument, and and the more I see it, the more I'm like, damn, it says a lot of people out here are not pro-life. They'll say they're pro-life, but they're not pro-life. Because if they were pro-life, they would be against, the complications that, Black and brown women face in delivery rooms. And they would understand. If they were pro-life, they would dump and put money into, what's the program that we use? Is it not? It's not early development.
Planned Parenthood.
Yes, Planned Parenthood. Excuse me. And they would put money into, these orphanage and kids that are motherless. You know what I'm saying? But they're not, right? They're not doing that thing. So you're not pro-life. You're just pro-abortion. Anti-abortion.
And it's the same thing with being pro-life, of putting more money into these schools, breaking down the prison pipeline, what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Prison pipeline. If you was pro-life, you would make more effort to being about the conservation and protection of life. That's from all aspects. The funniest shit was, like, they was talking all this pro-life bullshit, and then, like, when I think it was, who was Ukraine? Not before Ukraine. Who was the country that was going through? Syria. Syria was going through that shit, and we was trying to export Syrians here, and they was like, "No, keep their ass over there. You ain't sounding too pro-life now, buddy."
That's right. Nah, we don't want them. And I got a crazy story.
Pro-American life.
Talk about it. Not even, bro. They're not. And that's what it is. It's just, we can sit here, we can argue all day, but that's not what it is. And if you were truly pro-life, right? When the police are out here and they have these incidences where they're shooting people. Uproars. These school shootings, you were pro-life. These school shootings, not a thing. These active shooter drills these kids are running in school. We run them in the military, and they run them in school. 2 different types of active shooter drills wouldn't be a thing, right? If you were pro-life, these things would not be happening because you're pro-life. Not the case. Talk to him, G.
Man, I don't know. I was thinking about, like, how when we go into, like, how, like I said, the military, we go into these drills and stuff like that. Like, I was wondering, do they do that in black schools? Because I've never seen, like, or heard people talk about their kids going through those drills.
So I know, I know someone who goes to a predominantly black school, and they do the drills
after Columbine.
Yeah, because I didn't know. I didn't know. Mine is only a year and 5 months, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, but then you was like being, like you said, being pro-life and stuff like that, and having these conversations. Yeah, when it comes to certain people, one group of people like, yeah, like, we need to stop this and on this end, but then on the other side, they're like, oh no, these people did their job. These people were justified in doing this.
Yeah.
2 sides. Everybody doesn't, like, never meet. And then some people like, hey, let's meet in the middle. And some people like, nah, I'm out. Yeah, I'm over here and you over there, and stay there.
I think one of the biggest things one of the biggest cultural switches that I'm waiting on to happen would be where we go from fighting about shit where it's like you either have to be completely one side and fuck the other team, to being, okay, well, let's have a conversation about this. You know what I'm saying? You can like certain arguments from different things, because now the older I got, the older my kids are getting, the more conservative views I have on certain shit. You know what I'm saying? I think we've addressed this on the show, where it's like there are some things that I love about, some of the things that come from the right side. And there's a lot of shit that I hate. But there's some things that I love about coming from the left side, and there's a whole lot of shit that I hate over there too. So it's like everybody has to choose a team. It's either red or blue. You can't be purple. And that's the bullshit. I feel like that's where, when that cultural switch happens, that's when the aliens gonna come talk to us.
I'm gonna tell you why it's never gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you why it's never gonna happen. I'm also gonna tell you why we're still stuck where we're at when it comes to like race in America. Y'all ready? Every country has their race issues. Every country has their problems going on when it comes to
Colorism.
Us and them. Exactly. Everybody. The reason why that shit will never happen is because if everyone knows this, right? If you are unified as a country, do you understand how much shit would not be happening in America? Do you understand where we would be as a country if everyone unified? That is the most dangerous thing on the planet. Everyone being in unison. Only thing that can get us to do that is fucking if it's the planet. No. I would say if it's the planet versus another planet. If it's like us versus the aliens. Now it's no real shit. Think about that. It sounds absurd. Don't be surprised if it happens.
No,
that's the
Ronald
only
Reagan
thing
said that shit, bro. Ronald Reagan said that shit at the UN. I think it was back in like the 70s. He said, what is going to cause us to unify would be a external threat.
Exactly.
Or an extraterrestrial threat. So they know, we all know. But it's the same thing that happened with 9/11. You know what I'm saying? When 9/11 happened, everybody was American. We was all brothers. We had a common enemy. So it's that same, I see where you're going with it, bro. It's that same idea. Same idea.
Yep. We always need a finger to point. That's what it is.
We need a bad guy.
It's and a lot of things is like, how can I make myself and the people around me better? That's what we worried about a lot. Our tribe, you know what I mean? So that either that's skin color or that's our culture or whatever like that. Because like a lot of people always want to say like how like divided like black and white people are, right? But nobody. But then we say we have a brown and black correlation, right? A coalition. But then and we've been in the military. We do have, when we're in the military, we all one team, one fight. But then when we start breaking it down into cultures,
it's different. Separation.
It's always different. But but the military is always one family though. It's funny because it's like we like that family who fight with each other. But if somebody come in here and mess with our little cousin,
we fucking them up.
Going down.
You know what's funny too?
Only I can fuck with my little cousin.
Yeah, it's like it's another thing too. Like a lot of people don't know this. People who've never served don't know this. But like the Air Force versus the Navy versus the Army versus the Marine, everybody's beefing with each other. People could be at work fighting with each other, but the moment that them Army cats over there talking shit, what? Who said what? And it's like instantly, right? It's true, right? We all a family. We all work together. We all work in unison, but we have our own issues within each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it should be. I'm sure every community has it, but in terms of like stepping away from that and getting away from like the fighting and the bickering and being unified, they don't want that shit, bro. They purposely do that. And when I say they, you know what I'm talking about. They purposely do things to keep us in this state of constant battle. It's easier to control people when they're always fighting.
When you divide it, it's easier to displace people. But what it is like, they go like the five fingers. But when you put it together, it's strong. You know what I mean? Like I forgot how the metaphor go or something, but like we're separated like this. But
shit, you taught me something
like
new.
This, yeah.
I know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? But that sure reminded me of Planet of the Apes when he got the sticks and nigga was putting the sticks together. Like, you see, apes strong, nigga. That's us, nigga. That's us.
And another thing that comes into play is on culture is how much the media has a play into this too. You know what I'm saying? Like right now we're going through this whole fear mongering, and the media is all about the fear mongering anyways. But like when it comes down to it, how much the media controls is scary.
It is.
How much the government influence on the media has. It is scary. You see where they finally talking about how much how Twitter had such an impact on the 2016 elections. It's just culturally
sound it out,
around
nigga. Sound it
there,
out.
around there. That was
Uh-huh.
close. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing like when it came to the moon landing, or when it came to, other things that have happened throughout. Well, even when it came to the riots, in the 90s after the
That's
Rodney
right.
King thing. It's like everything is fear mongering. Oh, we have lost control,
Cultural.
So to bring that back, so like to bring back the Freaknik, so the media did the same thing with Freaknik. So
Mm-hmm.
like when like all these HBCs get together and because it wasn't just all bad, I mean, it was a lot, the fraternities and stuff like that. They do a lot of good things
Positive
in those
things in the
areas.
community. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so like, but then it was just like, then when Uncle Luke and them came out, then they tied it in with that. So they like, oh, Uncle Luke is bad, Freaknik is bad, but it was like, no, it's not all bad. Because like I said, when you get a whole bunch of people, you get thousands of people in one general area. There's going to be a lot of stuff that goes down. What I mean, a lot of bad stuff. But they wasn't always talking about the good stuff. So they all focus on the bad stuff. Two Live Crew, Uncle Luke, all this bad music, because hip hop was still
Yeah.
demonized at this time too.
Yep.
So
Devil's music.
yeah, so
It should have
that's the
never
whole thing now.
last.
And now look, now it's all on the commercials. It's all
Yeah.
what I
Now it's
mean.
really devil's music. Now they really out here wearing horns and shit, nigga. Yeah.
Niggas is battle rapping in Korea, cuz like that shit's real.
Facts. Did you see Lil? I mean, you guys probably don't follow this nigga, but you seen Lil Uzi, right? Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah, what about him?
Today, I for some reason, I don't know why I did this, bro. Let me click on this guy's story because I was tired. But I was like, I seen the photos. Let me click on his Instagram. And there was a controversy like 2 weeks ago about him saying Satan in one of his songs. And he kind of downplayed it. And then today, he posted a video of him getting his tongue tatted with the cross upside down. I was like, come on, son. Come on. Who you think you're fooling at this point? Nigga, just say your real name. Say your name. You know what I'm saying? Say your real name. We know who you are. Like, come on, bro. And I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on.
Damn, you got holy on us for a second there, didn't you? Cuz you about to do a sermon. Where's Tyler at? Somebody get this man some water. Somebody get him some water. Pass the collection plate around this motherfucker.
Yo, hold up. I gotta say this shit because I've been talking about this shit all weekend with my sister. I was like, yo, when I met you, I always said, because we're talking about the podcast and shit, she's talking about other stuff, and I kept bringing you up. So her friend, my boy, it's like a friend of the family, he was like, well, who is this nigga? And I was like, yo, think of him like an old school pimp, right? Think of him like an old school pimp who turned preacher. That's Mo. And he started laughing. He's like, oh, I see. But yo, that's you, nigga. That's all you.
I've never heard myself described in such eloquent words, but thank you.
That's how you introduce yourself to me. That's what you told me you want to do with the rest of your life. He's like, yo, I want to just grow my hair out and I want to be a preacher. But I'm gonna have a little pimp-esque to me. You know what I'm saying? A little pimp-esque to me.
Bishop Don Juan type.
Type preacher.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it can still happen. I'm still young, you know what I'm saying? I might turn my life over to God in my 50s and then just open my own church. That'd be lit. I'm putting it into the ether, past the Mo. But one thing that I thought about earlier when we brought up this topic of culture, right? And I was telling my wife this when I was talking to her about it. Because that's my best friend. I talk to her about everything. Yeah. So I was telling her, you know what I'm saying, in terms of being a black man, how in the South, going through, after slavery and going through segregation, where us, being hip, that jive shit, and us calling each other man, because you needed to hear yourself be called man. You wanted to acknowledged as a man because you've been called boy for so long. Do you think that us calling each other nigga all the time has a detrimental effect on the way we view ourselves? Or when you hear like niggas ain't shit?
I'm gonna go for this because this is something I never thought we'd ever talk about on the show, because I know I brought this up years ago and he was like, I don't want to talk about that nigga. But yet here he is dropping a bomb on me, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I had the fucking blood. I feel like I'm Funk Flex on a fucking Saturday night. Nigga, damn, thanks for the warning. We don't even do warnings on the show. Just let y'all know. This is all off the top of the dome. But you know what? Here we are 3 years later. He's bringing it up. So, honestly, and I know a lot of people may have mixed feelings about the way we call each other nigga and the way we say nigga on the show. I made a joke about it last week. You know what I'm saying? Even Goldee. Like, Goldee be like, sometimes be at work, I'm like, this nigga crazy, right? Like, yo, chill. and he got work. That nigga is retarded. You know, he be going off. But listen, let me say this, right? And for anyone listening and doesn't really understand, let me just explain this. And this is how I feel. This is say how you feel, but I'm gonna say how I feel. When it comes to the word nigga, I am a firm believer, right, that we say it in a as a term of endearment. And I know when I call you nigga or we say nigga, it's like bro. It's like bro, right? Could we say bro? Yes. Could some people, take so much pain and hurt? Yes. But it's just a word. And the meaning and context that you give any word, right, is what matters. And how your tone of how you use that word. We say nigga could be used in about 100 different ways, right? And it's all about the way you say it. And I know there's a lot of people out there that the moment they hear it, they start they take their headphones off. I can't listen to this guy. He's saying, I know people like that. I stopped listening to you after you dropped the first N word. Nigga, fuck you, right? Like it is what it is. But I grew up in New York. Goldie grew up in New York. People grew up all over the world, and in different areas, in different places, people use that word as just another way of saying like bro. And as I was little, my dad had this conversation with me. I didn't think it was that deep, but I'm thinking about it now. Nigga is just nigga, right? Nigger is different from nigga, right? And I know everyone's seen that Boondocks episode, right? And it's something that one thing that black people
nigga a pencil.
One thing that black people do very well in life, and this is something that has to be included in culture, is we take nothing and we turn it into greatness. I don't know any other culture, any other community that can take literally scraps and turn that shit into a full course meal. Take the epitome of trash and make that shit beautiful. And that is what black people do on a daily basis. Whether people who are white, Asian, or whatever disagree with that, prove me wrong, right? But black people are literally 85%, make up 85% of the creativity on this fucking planet, right? Because we're just different. And that's what it is. So nigga is just one more of those instances where we take something that was supposed to use and degrade us and break us down, and we turn it into something beautiful. And I'm going to tell you, me and my girl had a conversation about this shit. And I'm going to tell the world. Back in 2015, Kendrick Lamar, I'm about to say Kanye, Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, forgive me.
I remember that.
Back in 2015, I believe it was. Kendrick Lamar dropped the album To Pimp a Butterfly. And on that album, track I, that's when he had that song, I Love Myself, and everybody was going upset. I was driving to work. I was going through a really, really, really emotional time while I was in the military. And at the end of that song, like it's not the original, right? It actually cuts off and it's a cappella, and then he starts preaching. And he starts talking about and he starts talking about like, we are people. This is what it means. And he's saying nigga, but he's saying niggas, right? Our first episode of the show is what?
Hey,
niggas that serve, right? Yep. That's how we started this shit off. And it's always been that. So I'm explaining to her, she's listening, and she's just like, wow. And I was like, when I first heard this shit, it made me cry, right? Because I was going through so much. And it's like, I needed that. I was like, this is the first time I ever listened to a song and it made me cry. And I was like, damn. And that was it. And now the world knows, right? I was in my car. I never forget that feeling that I had of like, we're more than just nigga. So when we say it, we're not saying it to degrade anybody, demean anybody. And I know a lot of people aren't, but that is how I use it. That's how I feel. I don't really think certain people kind of get that privilege to say it. I really don't care, but that's my take on it. Goldie, you got the floor, and then, Mo, if you got something you want to say. Sorry.
Well, yeah, mine is real quick. So I don't tell nobody what they can and can't say. You know what I mean? I just say what I don't like around me. So like I know like people have like white friends or other graces of friends that they say it, and I always tell them, I'm like, hey, please, like, ask them not to say it around me, because I do, like I said, you heard me say it, but I try not to say it as much as possible. But yeah, I don't try to tell nobody what they can and can't, because I do know people use it in a certain way. Now, if you say it to me a certain way, and I'm like, yeah, you might want to chill, or you get your hands put on you. But yeah, but look, again, I used to tell people, no, don't tell me that, don't call me that. That I was like, I can't tell nobody what to say. I know that how they're trying to say it to me. So like I said, it's using the word as brothers and stuff like that. You could use brother, but
nigga sounds better.
I don't come off the tongue the same.
Roll off the tongue.
Yeah, shit rolls. That should be rolling, nigga.
But yeah, like I said, that's me. I don't like I said, whoever say it, cool. Yeah. As long as you're not just saying it to disrespect me. And then, like I said, other groups, I just like, I kind of ask them to tread lightly. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
what I forgot what movie it was, but it's like dope was it dope? I think it was when old girl when the white boy kept saying it and she kept punching him.
Yeah.
Y'all have
Yeah, I
seen the
think
movie?
so. Yeah, I
I
think it
seen
is
the
dope.
movie Dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
Hey.
how you feel about it, like being in music? Like I mean, like we apparently we all kind of feel the same way about this. But like
Yeah.
if you hear a white boy rapping some fucking
Yeah.
Gucci or some
So
what I'm saying some shit where it's a whole lot of
That's
niggas,
mute.
some
That's the
Kodak Black, like. But do you like check him over that shit? Like you can't say that, or you just like hell yeah, kill that shit.
I'm in the middle. I like you said.
yeah.
I take if they singing a song, they sing the lyrics. That's
Yeah.
them. Now again, I'm not gonna punch them in their face like, oh, you said it. Like they sing the
Mhm.
song. Like cool. Like,
Yeah,
there's only like I said, you're not saying to me. That's fine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
S-
I'm
You
not
know,
gonna tell them what this. I'm
I'm not gonna
who am
tell
I? Who am
somebody
I
what
to
they
tell them
can
what
and
they
can't
can?
say.
Yeah, yeah.
here's my thing, right? Like I said, I'm from New York. We got a lot of Spanish people. And first of all, we're not even gonna question white, black, whatever. You say nigga, you kind of get in the past because you just that's how we talk, right? A lot of my friends, I'm Puerto Rican, bro. So a lot of these dudes in the hood, they say nigga, like that's what they say. Anybody ever gonna tell them, yo, you can't say that, nigga? Who are you? That's what they would say, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly how they respond. I do believe, bro, it's a deep cultural thing. I think if we all are being oppressed and you're in that community, it's kind of like cool. Now, I've also had white friends who are like reciting a Dave Chappelle skit or a
Hmm.
song, and they're not itching to say it, but they'll just say it. You know what I'm
Drop that
saying?
shit in there
Yeah, yeah.
because that's
And
their
I'm just like,
favorite skit.
uh,
That's their favorite skit. They love to say that shit.
I'm not gonna say they love. I can't
Them
say
niggas
they
was
love.
beating on my hood. That was so funny, wasn't it? Say, man, that black white supremacist skit was golden. What about the Black Fairy? You like that one?
Oh my god.
Get the chicken. It was hilarious,
Oh
wasn't
my
it? Say,
god. Okay, you're taking it a whole nother level, bro. Because you were taking that
punch
shit
you in your damn
a
face.
whole nother level. But no, bro, that's not. Yeah, in that sense, then we might have to question who our friends are.
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, man, it's I think we have to reevaluate some things. But another thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to the N word, man, it's like for a lot of us, that shit is very important. It gives us a kind of a sense of like who we are as a people. At least that's how
Hmm.
I view it. I know there's a lot of people that view it as it's not that deep. It's but it does to me. It's like that's just can't really say our thing, but it's like it's something that we made our thing, like other
Hmm.
things. And to me, I don't really weigh heavy on thinking about it or being upset about if other people say it. It's just like that's us. That just proves that we're so fucking cool. Simple as that. No, I'm being real. It's the
Yeah, I
cool
hear
kids
you.
club.
I hear
Yeah,
you.
that's
And
all
you're
it is,
not
bro.
part of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hear you.
that's it.
Can't sit with us.
No, 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 not at all, man. Not at all. But yeah, that's my take on it, man. That's my take on nigga. Period. Period. Ah.
Like I said, it's subjective. It's another thing that's subjective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People, you know what I mean? Some people let it slide and other people don't. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Mhm.
Just know your audience.
that's true. That's true. That's facts. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man. So like another thing that like I'm sorry, I'm just all over this cultural thing
No,
is
that's cool.
being black in the military, right? And
Mm.
like how being just cool to the motherfucker. Like I was watching I know y'all seen the Five Bloods, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And like how like black soldiers during that time, fighting for a country that hates you. You
Mm-hmm.
getting treated better over here by the enemy than you getting treated by, your brothers back home or
That's right.
supposed brothers back home, and how we kind of grew together and adapted to each other. It's the same thing with, black folks that fought in the Civil War and World War II, like you
Hmm.
had so it's like we low key click up just naturally because
Mm-hmm.
when you walk someplace as a black man and you see a sea of white faces and you see another black dude and he give you one of these, it's like, all right, I got one
We
ally in this
good. Yep.
motherfucker. At least one. At
Yep.
least one.
Can I speak to that real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
So the messed up part about it is when you don't get it back. You ever
Mm.
had, so
Never trust a black man without a mustache. Of course we've gotten it back, bro.
so so
Absolutely.
so like I've traveled a lot of time. Like I've traveled, and I think early in my like my Instagram like posting journey, I was talking about it, and I remember I got a lot of backlash. And I was like, man, I've traveled over the world, and I was like, the most hurtful thing is that I see another person who looks like me, and I give them the head nod, and they give me the look of, "What are
Nigga,
you
who's you?
doing here?" Or
Yeah.
like, "What are you doing here?" Like this
Mm-hmm.
is for like me or like just. And I was like, and people was like, "No, that's just you projecting." I was like,
Projecting
"Yeah,"
what?
and I'm like, it happened in several countries. Like, it wasn't one time; it was several times, and I think that hurt the most. But
Mhm.
like I said, when it does happen, you see somebody and they give you that head nod back, or
It's
even
like,
like, I just like,
Yep. I'm safe. Safe space, baby. Yep.
yeah,
yeah,
We
at
gonna
least
talk.
somebody in here got my back. Yeah.
That's right.
So
At least one of us.
So
yeah,
that's what one way I wanted to like I was just thinking about that of like how we when we don't have each other, you
Mm.
know, and you finally do get an ally that kind of looks like you or
Mm-hmm.
that has
hmm
gone through some things that you've gone through, how it
hmm
makes you more comfortable and makes you a little bit stronger, right?
hmm
The way I wanted to pose this question was um when you go places as a black man that are not really black, are you looking for black faces or are you just here just to just take it in? Because it's not like
uh,
when I say looking for, I don't mean like you in here like, oh, I gotta find another black person. But like as you looking around, you're like, oh, come on, man, there gotta be at least one more of us in here somewhere.
I, all right, so I'll switch this real quick. So Switzerland, Romania, those are two places I've been where I didn't see that many black people. And
Mm.
I was looking for Africans. I was looking for I was looking for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And the bad part about it is that I was getting the most looks. We were like traveling and we had the money to go to all the places that all these people are going to.
Mm-hmm.
And then the black people you do see are the Africans or the immigrants who are selling things. So you kind of get clumped into this thing, that
Less than.
people, yeah,
Unfortunate. Yeah.
yeah, and because when you walk into some place and if you have the money, like I'm not balling and all like that, but I do save
You
up
would
for
be
my
in
trips.
Romania though. I'm telling you
Yeah.
that right now. The dollar
Oh
was
no,
crazy back
definitely,
then.
yeah,
Yeah.
but not in Switzerland. Switzerland,
No, yeah. Switzerland's way different.
it's crazy, yeah. So it's like you go in these places and people looking at you like do you have the money to be in here?
But
Like
y'all slap shit out you in
With
here.
the money,
exactly.
nigga. With the money. Yeah.
So
No.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
but I do look for them. I'm like.
Gotta be at least one.
Yo, I gotta
Come
do the
on,
Bill
man.
Cosby shit like, yo, that's crazy. I'm gonna tell you, man, my experience from traveling though, I'll be honest with you, anywhere in the world I went, there's always black people. Everywhere I went, there's always black people. I've never been to a place where I've not seen a black face. That's real shit. Even in the artwork, tells you the artwork.
Mm.
Surprising or not, they may not be there now, but they were there at one point in time. So, yeah, I mean, I feel you, G. I feel you when it comes to that.
You
Hit or
always
miss.
yeah, you want to look for somebody who's familiar to you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember when I went to Africa, I was in Ghana, and this is one thing that upset me about with our culture, what we don't do. I seen these two white men. They didn't know each other from Adam. They just clicked up and was like, "Hey, we going in the same direction. You want to catch? I got a car going that way. I'm just waiting for him. You want to catch a ride?" And
Mm,
I'm in a country of people who look like me, and I couldn't get help for nothing.
mm.
And I'm like, is it a cultural thing? Is it because I'm American? Is it because I'm not African? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, but they see each other and they click up real tight. And even in America, like we have that separation. Like, say, you from Brooklyn, I'm from Queens, or you from New York, I'm from Jersey, or from down south.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think I was thinking about this earlier was when like I said when Atlanta like the Southern music was coming up, their music was still fire back then.
Mm-hmm.
That music was fire. It wasn't mainstream because New York music was the thing.
Niggas wasn't trying to give him no radio play.
Mm-hmm.
Because
It's true.
you go back in their music, like you go back to the stuff that starts to come mainstream. You go, why didn't I hear this before?
Yep. That drill.
No, the
Old school
fucking
drill. Yep.
the ghetto boys. You talk
Mm-hmm.
about, you know what I'm saying, 8 Ball and MJG, UGK.
Hmm
Like these are huge. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Down
It's
south.
true.
3 6 Mafia. You know
Yep.
how much 3 6 Mafia gets sampled now, especially by New York rappers?
Yep.
Like this whole ASAP clique is really just a,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's just
Even Texas, screw
Yeah.
music. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
exactly.
Like,
Yep.
Like it's
Yep.
just it's the South, man. The South is the the Mecca. That is the word I was looking for earlier.
Oh my
Atlanta is
God.
the Mecca for Black folks, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And
That I'll give you. I'm like, what? You see how that shit came to you? Took some time,
bitch,
but it came to you.
boom, took a minute.
Took a little minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm not gonna disagree with that when we're talking about culture, especially there's so much that comes out of Atlanta, that comes out of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Good things, bad things, everything. And actually, we're putting a lot of money as people into Atlanta. I was talking about today, like all the studios they're building, the land that
Mhm.
they got out there, how it's moving. That's what's coming of it. But it's so sad because you drive 10 miles outside of it, and boom. 1 mile outside of it, I heard that there was a racist restaurant that said no niggers allowed.
Mhm.
1 mile
Mm,
outside of city limits, bro.
And that
seen
sells
that on
like that.
Instagram.
That
Yeah.
sells racist memorabilia. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You go in there see blackface dolls or them old racist ass postcards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, racism is still alive and well in the South. It really is.
Yes. I don't know about well, but it's
Blatantly.
definitely alive. Yeah. And
Mm.
that's a whole nother thing, man. So I feel like that's why we're never gonna change. These people are never gonna let go until their kids start having black kids, and then maybe we'll start to touch the surface of it.
So I got a question for y'all.
Talk to me.
So for the culture, right?
Mm.
As we on culture, do y'all think that have we gotten better as a culture? Like as this because everything is pretty much one now, right? So it doesn't matter. Everybody's sampling from everybody, right? So do you think that as a whole, like when we go somewhere and we see each other, is it better like, okay, cool, like I know a little bit more about the South, I know a little bit more about the West, Midwest. Do you think that brings us together, or does it's kind of people still trying to break away from each other?
You want to go first? You want me to go?
I think that in a way it does still, and it's outliers. It's outliers, you know what I'm saying? But it's like it is a lot easier to find common ground. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we as a people are a lot more, I'm not gonna say accepting, but a lot more willing to hear each other out in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like where you from? Oh yeah, that's it opens up that dialogue a little bit more. The one way where I can say like I wish things were better, and again, I'm sorry, old soul, but it's like the unity that we had as a people when James Brown dropped I'm Black and I'm Proud. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? The unity we had when we had political figures like Martin Luther King or Malcolm, you know what I'm saying? The unity we had when we had a party like the Panthers that was able to get out here and really do some good in the community all across the nation, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Is something that I wish that we really had. And it's like what is stopping us now? Like what is the excuse for us
I'll
not
tell
being
you.
able to do it, man? It's just
You.
like it's
I,
so many black millionaires, so many
Mm.
black people that's empowered, that's and grew up. It's like
it's sad because you
it's
know the answer and you're asking the question.
yeah.
You listen. I wasn't even gonna chime on that, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
address that before I answer the question that Goldie asked. First of all, everybody you just listed, with the exception of James Brown, was what begins with an A, assassinated, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people these days, and this is why the Black Lives Matter movement is so it works the way it does, is because no one person can take all the responsibility, right? That is the key. That was kind of the key, right? No one person can, you can't kill all of us, right? They could, but you can't really kill all of us. And
Damn sure
every
done
time
tried.
a person, huh?
They damn sure done tried a couple times.
they have. But when you have one person, one leader standing up and saying, this is this or this is that, they take them out, bro. And this is something that that they do. And at some point, people are like, is it worth my life? Could I do more? Can I influence people more if I'm here? Because these people have families. It's like one thing about everything, even from Martin Luther, when it comes to, Dr. Martin Luther King Dream, let me say his full name. When it comes to Malcolm X, Brother Malcolm, and it comes to all these political figures, they all had to sacrifice their life and their families. And I think when it comes to, let's say, us, there's a lot of people out there who understand that their purpose in life is to put into their kids to make better humans and create a better way of life for themselves, their children, and their grandchildren. And a lot of people these days, I feel like, to answer Goldie's question, I feel like it's 50-50. I feel like we are
Mhm.
better, but we aren't, because a lot of us make shit more, or make shit to be perceived a certain way when it really isn't. And that comes with social media and like keeping up with the Joneses and now like all we want to do is like black podcasting and black talk shows is just about sex and like pussy and like selling pussy and like all this other crazy shit.
We
When there's
talk
so much
about
other
it
shit
too.
we could talk about. We don't talk about that shit the way that these motherfuckers talk about it. I'm talking about women coming on here talking about selling pussy for free, like for almost nothing, bro. But that's not what I want to talk about. But the point I'm making is like we're better, but at the same time we're not. And it just depends on what community, what group you're going for. But like I said, to answer your question, Mo, and to answer your question, Goldie, when you have one individual stand up and they say, I'm going to be this individual for this movement, or I'm going to help provoke this change, that comes with a price. And 9 out of 10 times it's their life. So if you're not willing to die for this shit, sit your bitch ass down. And sorry, that's what it is. And that's where we are as a people. We just got hip to it. And that's the answer, Goldie shit. We're now black people are smarter. You know what we're going to do? We're going to move in a different way. We're going to move as a coalition, as a group. The problem is the message gets contorted because there's so many different voices. Once we figure out how to do that shit in a way where it affects everybody, I guarantee you that's when shit's going to start to move. If we start saying, yo, the dollar, just money itself and the influence that we bring as a people, they don't want that to happen. If everyone was to get on board and be like, yo, this is what we're going to start focusing on and truly commit themselves to focusing on being black and positive and try our very best to like end gun violence and or be gun educated. I'm not really against gun violence. I'm just like against ignorant people or people who using weapons in a wrong manner because it does more harm than good.
Yeah, you need to have some weapons. But that was my that's where I'm going with it, where it's like we got so many resources, so many people have resources that could be put into these communities, that could be put into these different programs, where it's just like what are we waiting on? You know what I'm saying? The government not going to do it. They don't already show they're not going to do it. They'll take the school out of your fucking neighborhood before they decide to put new books in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when it comes to black educators, you know, it comes to black professionals. After segregation, keep going back to the shit. After segregation, you know what I'm saying? Segregation was Dr. Martin Luther King, one of the last speeches he gave was him saying he feels as though he led his people into a burning house.
Yes.
Because segregation kept us as professionals. We had to have our own folks. We had to have our own doctors.
We needed each other.
We had to have somebody that was a tailor. We had to have somebody that, you know what I'm saying, owned a restaurant. We had to have a black cab company. We had to have these things that were just for us. And once we segregated, once we integrated, it was like, okay, we rushed all of our money out of our community and into these other resources. And instead of being business owners and being our own proprietors, we decided we wanted to be consumers.
That's right.
And that's where we fucked up. And at this point, it's like we're like us getting back to that, you know, like what is stopping that? What was you about to say?
I know. Go ahead.
What did the old saying goes? The white man's ice is colder. You know so that's kind of that. Yeah, that's where they got into it. So the reason why I came up with that question is because there's this author. I think I mentioned the book the last time I was on here, but the author's name Nearly Fuller Jr. and he talks about that like he says that there's no black culture, but he doesn't mean like in that way. He's just like saying it in a way because because we pretty much give it away for free.
That's right.
So like he's like what, and the culture that we do claim is the silliest things. Is like, oh, I can dance, you know, which is not a, you know, in context, he's like, oh, I could dance, I could sing. It's all like non-tangible things. He's like, but we don't boast about the excellence that we do about, you know what I mean, like in science and business and stuff like that. Some people do, not all, but for the most part, if you look on Instagram or social media, we have a lot of people who dance and we like you said, we're awesome at creating culture, but then we don't monetize on it either too. So it's like, you see, twerking was big, you know what I mean, twerk team and all that stuff. And then
they have schools.
Yeah, now they got schools.
Once Miley Cyrus did it, it was hot.
But who cultures that? And then she'll have black girls in the background twerking too.
That's right.
And I was about to say something about that.
No. Say how you feel. Say how you feel. Say it.
I was going to say she's twerking her flapjacks. You know what I mean?
Some pancake booty? Come on now.
Up there,
you know the white folk love them pancake booty? Let me stop before you get canceled.
Unbaked whole chicken. Like, man, get your... That shit was raw.
They're like canceled. They're putting petitions right now. Get these niggas off the air.
I just think
Bro.
it's so crazy that they use our culture to get forward. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
They use. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
I can.
All right. Yeah. So like they it's like a platform for them. It's a springboard for them. You know what I'm saying? Your record sales low. Put some cornrows in your hair. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. Get Timberland to come do a beat for you. It's like this. That shit.
It's true.
I fucks with Justin Timberlake the long way. One of my favorite white men of all time. Something about Justin Timberlake. That's my fucking dog. But. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was with us for a minute, and then next thing you know, he did a revamp and came out with a country album. Fuck us, right? We was waiting on the next one, man.
Did the same thing.
Yep.
Who?
All of them.
Pink. She started out as like an R&B, and then she got that money and was like,
peace. But listen, here's the thing, right? Here's what all this shit comes down to when you really think about it. And I say this shit because it's funny, because like I was fucking around with my son, and I was like, yo, he was like, oh, this is free. And I was like, you know, my homie always told me, if it's free, you must OD. And this nigga's been saying this shit all week, bro. He was like, you know, if it's free, you must OD.
That is a horrible lesson to teach a
I was
child.
joking. I was joking. And he knows I'm joking.
Oh, man, I miss him so much.
Come on,
I miss the boy so much, man.
I know, man. They miss you too. I told him I was hopping on. She's like, oh, Goldee. But listen, I was joking, bro. And he knows I'm joking.
I know.
But the sad part, though, and this is to answer everybody's question. And this is something I learned, if I was a billionaire and I put money into this one thing, a lot of times, bro, Black people, it's like we're missing this one little key thing that Japan has over us and other countries have over us. It's like home teaching and principles of like, take one. A lot of people, bro, are like, they see it as a money grab. They see it as abuse. If I was to put, literally, this is a scenario, a basket of something, and it's free. It says free, take one. That little fucking slogan of if it's free, you must OD is literally the Black mentality. And then it's like, and then there's other people that want to come in and take it and then resell it to you. Now put a price on it because I'm making money, right? That's the problem. If it starts really at home at teaching your kids like, yo, be respectful and mindful of others. And I promise you in 20 years, when they become adults, then we can really start seeing a change. That's the one thing that the Japan has over the US, bro. It's the mindfulness of others so far that they'll go to put noise canceling sounds for when you're taking a shit so it doesn't disturb the person next to you. That is a whole nother level of like being mindful.
Consideration.
Yeah. It is. And if we were considerate as Black people, just of our brothers and sisters, I promise you, overnight, you would see a fucking a decrease of Cadillac converters being stolen in Black neighborhoods. These niggas out here stealing these Cadillac converters, and that was the pinnacle of my argument.
I noticed that it ain't even Black people that's out here stealing these catalytic converters, nigga. Every video I done seen of somebody stealing a catalytic converter in the hood, it's not a Black person underneath there with a fucking chainsaw. That's not out here,
nigga. Every video I seen is a Black person stealing the Cadillac converter.
Ain't no white folk converters, nigga.
Whatever the fuck it is. Cadillac, nigga. It's Cadillac, whatever the fuck it is.
They just stole my DeVille converter off this motherfucker.
For real. But no, that's my whole thing, man. I feel like as you want to talk about getting the culture on track, be mindful. And I'm not talking about being mindful of like, it's so like being mindful and accepting of someone talking about sucking dick, because that's what we're being mindful about these days. I'm being honest with you. You go on social media, the first thing I see when I see a mic and a Black person, I guarantee they're talking about sex. 2 minutes later, she's talking about how this nigga was hitting her from the back and she couldn't breathe. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit we're talking about, bro. We can be talking about so much other shit.
So much.
No, it's not, man. It's literally it's not, bro. At this point, it's not the algorithm. I'm not talking about TikTok. Yeah.
Or Black relationship, or how one man, the men ain't shit, females ain't shit. And you know what I mean, this relationships ain't shit. And my grandmother didn't have to work. My grandfather paid all, and you like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no, my grandmother and grandfather work. Like, you must be thinking, you know, but we don't really have a concept of time when it's like, no. And also culture, like Black families always had almost two parents working for like the last 6-7 generations. You know what I mean? Black people didn't always have the luxury of making enough money, or Black men didn't have enough luxury of making enough money to support their family. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think it's a nostalgia thing, and people don't talk to their elders enough to be like, hey, what was our family like? And what was your grandparents like? And what did your elders tell you? You know what I mean? And I guess
Yeah,
I was fortunate in that.
yeah. I was gonna say I disagree. Not to like say fuck
Hmm.
what you just said, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. We talk about this all the time. Society is like when it comes to social media, the devil, the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I
I see a lot of I'm not trying to attack them, but a lot of women um living my best life. I'm free, blah 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 blah. But I
Independent.
want
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
exactly. But I want a man to do X, Y, and Z. Let me explain something to you. That's fine. But it's like you want a man who's gonna sit here and do everything. But when it's like men have to stay the same, but women can be as liberated as they want. Men
hmm
have every right to be as liberated as they want too. Even though, granted, for centuries they've been fucking around and doing their own thing, and the game changes. But it's like they want a loyal man, but they want to be able to be liberated to do whatever they want, right? And I'm telling you right now, does not exist. It only exists if people allow it to exist. And men, a lot of men are not going for that shit. They will use and abuse you. And that's
hmm
why we have all these broken people fucking around with other broken people. Because I'm telling
hmm
you, once you understand, like, yo, if you wanna stay home and do whatever the fuck you want, and he makes enough money and y'all happy, cool. But that comes with a price. The price is he's gonna want you to do what the fuck he says when he wants you to say it. And if it's not that, it's some type of agreement because no man and even the people who are simps, they expect and want things out of their relationship as well. And a lot of times these one-sided conversations is what's like, it's like, bro, I don't want to hear that shit. It's at this point, just stay single and do what the fuck you want to do. That's it. Why do you need a man? You
Let a
don't.
hoe
You
be a
saying you
hoe,
don't.
man.
Why exactly be a hoe?
Uncle Snoop said that shit. Let a hoe be
That's
a
it.
hoe. Do your thing, baby.
I agree with you.
Don't get
I
mad when
agree
you're a
too.
hoe, and then later on your son is not crying because his other kids in his class are like, "Yo, your mom's got an OnlyFans." In fact, here goes her shit right here. It's coming. It's
Oh,
coming.
it's
This
coming. It's
Freaknik,
happening.
it's
It's already
happening
happening.
already.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah, it's
Uh,
happening.
it's
Freaknik
happening.
online.
Here
Freaknik
you go.
online.
Here we go. It's coming.
Put a
And you know what?
subscription.
Hey, it's coming, bro. And all
I
that
agree
stuff
with
has a
you.
price. So listen, my homegirl said it best. She's like, listen, if you think she's like, I know you in a relationship and most of us in relationships, but I'm gonna tell niggas right now, if you go, right, let's say you married and you're having issues and everything's good for the most part, no one stepped on each other, but like y'all getting tired of each other, right?
Hmm.
Hypothetically speaking. She was like, yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. The dating scene in 2023 is fucking trash. Bitches nowadays
Garbage.
understand their worth of they understand what they got. And they not sending news for free. Why would I send a nigga a picture of my titties when I can sell it for $59.95? A whole package. Tell me why. If I was a chick, man, I'd be out here selling my shit too, but it has a price. If I have kids, guess what? That will come back to haunt you. If I want to get a nice job, guess what? First day at work, they find your name out. Boom, click you, Google, instant. I do all the time.
I was thinking about a joke that we'll try out that was talking about nudes, right?
You got to speak up a little bit, bro, because you coming in low. Talk to me.
My bad. Hold on, let me turn this up. There we go. You hear me?
There we go. Turn my headphones. Hell yeah, go ahead. Talk to me.
So I was thinking of a joke about nudes
Okay.
and how I was like, you know what, man? Like when you in a relationship, when you married, you know what I'm saying? You love anybody love an unsolicited nude as a man. You know what I'm saying?
That's
You love
right.
an unsolicited nude. I don't know how women feel about this topic, but as a man, you love a good. If you just so happen to just roll over and there's some titties on your phone, you like, oh,
Yo,
shit,
hey, shit,
it's gonna
okay.
be a good day.
That's
I was
right.
also on some shit like if you send me a nude, the fuse is lit. And the bomb is gonna blow. That shit is consent. Like you gonna get this dick. You
Hmm.
send me a nude. Like that was full on. You, this is yours. You come get it. I
Yeah.
know it's a joke.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
joke.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
But that's what I was thinking about when you said that shit. Like why would you pay? Why am I going? I'm not gonna send you these titties for free.
That's it. It's done.
They
Them
all
videos done.
anything that you look at the dating scene and like the current culture, it's full of tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Like and tricks are there.
For
It's niggas
kids.
that's willing to pay. Like niggas is
Hmm.
willing like
Yep.
out the gate. Like oh yeah, let me fly you out. Like nigga, fly her out. What?
What?
The fuck are we doing?
I was like, yo. I was like,
I'm
what?
sorry.
Yeah. Go for it, G.
I can't talk because I've done it. So.
What? I know this is before. You know what I'm saying? My man's was locked in, but you was out here flying hoes out, G.
No, one, one specific
Nigga, one
person.
is too many. One is more than enough.
Did
He be like, yo, I listen, I have
you paid baggage fees too, didn't you?
That's right.
Oh, this nigga.
Yeah.
How you think I got a baby? How you think I got my little one now? That's the only person.
Oh my God.
Right.
Come on, G. That don't
Right.
count, bro. We over here saying all this crazy shit. I'm gonna have to cut this, nigga. You might be like, damn, this nigga called me a hoe and everything.
Hoe?
What's
Yeah.
wrong with you, bro? I might leave this shit in here for good context, but no. Nigga, come on. That don't count, bro. That's your wife. That's different.
You flew out and locked her down, man.
Yeah, nigga, that's different. That's not even flying her out, nigga. That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's commitment.
That was
That's what that is.
investment.
Yeah, it's investment. Yeah, this nigga said just one. That don't count, man.
That don't count.
We're talking about these hoes, these nasty bitches. Yeah.
You made it sound like you was getting frequent flyer miles off these bitches or something. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, use my number. Get that up.
Nah, bro, that's wifey, man. That does not count. And we apologize for anything we may have said that may have offended her in this short time, but we're not talking about you. We're not talking about no, we're talking about these nasty hoes Bernie Mac used to refer to. Those are the bitches we talking about. But anyway, besides the point, I digress. Culture. Yeah, man. Culture. There you go. Culture. As a culture in society, man, I feel like we're progressing. There's just little things we got to tweak, man. What are we about? What do we want to be represented as? Are we going to monetize on what we're producing? Mm-hmm. Right? Because I'm gonna tell you, the most expensive thing that we have to offer as people of color is our intellectual property. You need us to do some shit fast, we'll come up with a solution. You need us to fix some shit, we'll come up with it. You want us to make the next trend? Guess what? God damn it, we got it. Right? It's all about us monetizing and understanding, like, we're not gonna give this shit away for free. It's getting just like women in nudes.
You create. Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly. Because you see the way they take these dances, that shit kills me, bro. Fortnite came through and scooped up all the black dances and they ain't paying nobody nothing. Like,
that's right.
No originator got anything. Or like when it comes to different little trends, little TikTok trends and shit. The originator of this is a person of color, but it blew up because such and such seen it and now all these white people's making money off of it. Like, that's right. We need to treat our culture the way these hoes is treating they nudes nowadays.
Yep, that's it. Yeah. That's all it is. I promise.
Message.
Old school. You brought it back. Message. Yo, I haven't done that shit forever, man. That was you. That was your shit, Mo. Okay. Shit. We got a fan and a guest at the same time. Look at that.
That's real
Very
shit,
much
bro.
For real. That's facts, bro. That's facts. Listen, man, I think we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Maybe if they listen to us, we'll get there a lot sooner. But hey, slow and steady wins the race, man. We just need more people advocating for that. That's really what it comes down to, bro.
You gotta play the long game. The long
that's
game.
Right.
I think that's one thing we haven't learned. We think we gotta get it instantly. We gotta play the long game. The long game is think about that's us as parents. We shouldn't be thinking about just our kids. We should be thinking about our grandkids and having money for them. Teach our kids to keep this rolling. So
that's right.
And same thing with culture.
Yep.
Same thing with culture. We don't need the schools to teach our kids what we can go online or get a book and teach them the same things. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It's all
100%.
on us.
100%. But yeah, I agree with you.
This was fun.
It was
good talk.
It was, man.
Good talk.
I missed y'all, man.
Same here, man.
I can't say why I was gone for so long, but y'all know how. Y'all know.
Top
classified niggas. Yeah, he was doing. Yeah, he's out here hustling. Y'all niggas don't even know what he was doing. He was killing people. Now me stop.
He gonna take his shirt off and have a bunch of bumps on it like Killmonger.
Niggas, that malaria? Nigga, what you got? You was in Africa, huh? Those some big bumps too. Oh shit! Nah, I'm fucking with you.
Oh, but I think the last time I was going to Guam. The last time I was going to Guam. So it's been 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 2 years. Oh man,
here we are back at it again. Damn, Goldee. Yeah, but listen, this has been great, man. We definitely appreciate you coming on, man. And for everyone out, back home or wherever you are, listen to this. Definitely, if you guys want any points brought up, you want to address anything, you guys want to verify anything, you want to give your opinion on things, please hit that comment section and talk to us, man. We're here. If you want to come on the show and talk about something, let us know, man. We are not opposed to it. Us here at Say How You Feel. We just like to have good conversation, make the shit fun, man. That's it. We're not trying to push no agenda. We may be a little biased in some things, but that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to say nigga if you a nigga.
and another thing, and it's okay to say it how you feel. That's the whole point of the show. You ain't got to agree,
That's
You ain't got
right.
to agree. You ain't got to like what I say. But I'm saying
Facts.
how I feel, and you should do the same. Don't be a little bitch
Facts.
about it. Say it with your chest. Let that shit
Mm-hmm.
out. If you got hate in your heart, let it out.
That was the best segment ever, though. Hands down, bro.
Yeah.
Hands fucking down. If you got hate in your heart, go ahead, let it out.
Let it out. Kind of
Oh my,
Langus rise, bro. To this day,
oh
one of the
my god.
greatest skits of all time.
Hands down.
Ever. Yeah.
Hands down. Hands down. Anywho, so with that, we're gonna conclude. Listen, we love you guys. Thank you for our listeners. Please hit that like and subscribe button down at the bottom. Ding ding. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it, man. We appreciate you guys coming out, listening to us, vibing with us. We hope you got a good laugh. We hope you learned something, man. And look out for that Freaknik documentary coming out, man. I am so hip right now. I cannot wait, bro. I'm
That nigga
itching to
said
see
I'm
that shit.
hip.
You know me. You gotta hit the 90 term, bro. I want to see. I want to see what all this. What's the hype about? You know what I'm
Oh, the
saying?
hoopla. Yeah.
I'm done with you, bro. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Anyway,
This was Say It How You Feel. I'm Mo.
I'm saying.
I'm Goldie. 2 E's.
Mm.
2 E's. And again, shout out to Goldie, bro. We love you. We
Yep.
appreciate you for coming and kicking with us again, man. It's always a pleasure. We can't wait for the next time. We need to link in person.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Soon.
we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And
Mm.
thanks for fucking with Say It How You Feel, man. We do
Yes,
this
sir.
for y'all. We really do.
Facts. We'll see you guys next week, man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.